What's up, guys? This is Stephen Cochran, founder of Impression Management and creator of the Impression Leadership System. I elevate people's leadership skills in order to solve their people problems. So, if you are somebody that has said any version of these sentences, I am tired of repeating myself. I have a good team, but we're just not aligned. We have plenty of meetings, but nothing comes of them. That's where I step in and try and help the group out with leadership skills. And today, the question we've got came from a recent session that I had with a client. And a big part of leadership is great conversation skills because you not only want to deliver your point, but you also want to make sure that you're understanding the other person's point. And so the question was this: what does good conversation have to do with leadership, and how do we get better at it? So, first of all, what it has to do with leadership is fundamentally people need to be reminded that they are interesting to you, that you care about them as they want to be seen. And that includes everything from not only having, feedback sessions and things like that, but just your run of the mill casual conversations and making sure that they don't devolve into where a lot of conversations do, which is in this cycle of I know and I do. So rather than spending a lot of good time listening, what ends up happening? And I challenge you over the next couple of weeks to listen for this, and you'll see if I'm right or not. But the conversation usually goes with somebody saying something that happened to them recently or an opinion that they have, and the listener then immediately comes back in with what they think or a similar situation that happened to them. And then the other person jumps back in, yeah, well, that happened to me, but it was a little bit more like this. And then you jump back in with, well, that's true, but then there's this, and this in my life. And it's a back and forth of, I know, I do, back and forth. And nobody is really getting the most out of this conversation. So, a fundamental part of leadership, no matter what style of leadership you have, is the idea of making it about other people, which is counterintuitive for all of us. Setting you aside for a while. And more than wanting to know you, most people, and this includes us, want other people to know us. So, being aware of that fact, you flip what happens traditionally on its head, and you work to make the conversation about them. This allows you to be more memorable to them as well. The more you know about them, the more you can help them dig into what it is that they're trying to tell you. So, this is one of the upfront costs of reputation, of setting the ego aside, employing a lot of humility and a lot of curiosity to make conversations about them. So that's what this has to do fundamentally with leadership. And a way to get better at it is to use a simple 2-to-1 rule of asking 2 questions before you give 1 answer. Now, a question doesn't actually have to be a question. It could be a statement designed to get someone else to elaborate a little bit further. So if you just take, the most important parts of what you heard from them and say it back to them as a statement, you're going to find that they're going to dig a little bit further and give you some more context and some more details. And a key part of this to remember is, let's just say somebody's talking about a sport that you could care less about, but it means a lot to them. I have some friends that are very much into college baseball. I could care less about college baseball. And so how do we then have a conversation that's not fake, and yet we are interested in what they're talking about? Well, I'm not interested in college baseball, but I am interested in my friend's interest in it. I do get a lot from learning about why they like it so much and what they get out of it and what they see that I don't see. And I may never become a fan of college baseball, but the fact that I can sit there and talk to my friends in a very open, genuine way because they know I'm not bullshitting, and learn about what they like. And it makes the conversation better. And on a business standpoint, this makes our leadership that much more deep for other people. That makes trust that much more achievable because people feel understood. And you know the saying that people have to be understood before they're willing to understand. So don't waste conversations. Spend more time listening, spend more time asking questions, and eventually that will be your habit. Set your own stories aside. Don't try and match story for story. Don't talk about a similar thing that happened to you. Dive in on what they want to talk about. And another thing you'll find is do that long enough, and the other person will start asking you questions. They'll get to a point where they realize that they've been talking about them the entire time, and then they'll branch the conversation over to you in a very, very genuine, warm way. So try those things, see if they don't help you out, and I'll see you for the next one. That's it.